If you're planning on making a few key hires or you're hiring for the first time, this video is for you. I'm going to share with you 5 tips for better hiring. I work with businesses that are scaling to multiple 6 and 7 figures. They work online and remotely usually. So I want to share with you the tips for the best decision making when it comes to hiring. Let's get started with the first one. You need to have clarity on the areas this person needs to be responsible for. Instead of just bringing someone who can get some tasks done or some jobs done, you need to think of the bigger picture. What do you want them to be responsible for? And what is it that job description should look like? I have created a video specifically for you. You can check somewhere right here where you can see the job description structure. The job description needs to have the areas of responsibility. They need to have a mission, some KPIs, and also a growth path. Any person that joins your team needs to have a growth path because this is what motivates usually A players to stay in your company for longer and not look for other opportunities. So before you jump into the market and you try to hire someone, just get more clarity on what do you want this person to do for you. Write it down. Create that culture of writing in your company. So instead of just telling people yeah, more or less it's going to be this, it's going to be that. Because if you hire them and it's not in written, then their expectations are not going to be there. They're going to do more or less what you want them to do, but not exactly what you want them to do. So create a solid job description. Check out the specific video on how to create a solid job description. And then let's go to the next point. You need to pay attention to how this person, this candidate communicates. How far in the future are they going to book the interview call? You need someone who has urgency to book the call for as soon as possible. You don't want them to book 2 weeks ahead or 3 weeks in the future. You want them to book a call as soon as possible. That shows that they're truly interested in this and it's not something that, they couldn't really care if they get hired or not. When you ask them a question, you need to pay attention to how they respond. How much attention are they paying to the way that they are communicating to you? Because keep in mind that this is the first impression. Everyone puts a lot of attention onto giving you a really great impression. So if they're not trying from the start, that means in the future it's going to get only worse and worse. So really pay attention to the way that they are communicating, how easy it is to get things done with them, even scheduling that interview or getting them to complete an assignment, how easy it is and how they're asking their questions, right? And lastly, you need to pay attention to how fast they respond. So if they take a day or 2 to respond, then that is a red flag. This person doesn't seem to be available and doesn't have the urgency to communicate with you and to get things done. So make sure to pay attention to these 3 points when it comes to communication. And let's get to the next one. Ask interview questions to understand their depth of understanding of the subject matter. For example, if you're hiring a media buyer, ask them specific questions. You want to see how knowledgeable they are and how deep they think about things. Someone who has experience and has worked in this specific subject will give you more details. And the more details they give you, the more likely it is that they are experienced and specialized in this specific subject, whether it is media buying, operations, marketing, branding, whatever you are looking to hire for. Go in depth because as you're talking to more candidates, it's going to be hard for you to decide which person is the right one. And it's always the right person is a person who has the most experience and understands things at more depth than everyone else. Then you also want to understand their motivation. What is the key reason they are looking to work with you? Is it for money or is it because they love their craft? Of course, everyone will be motivated to make more money and come and join your business. But if you want to fully delegate, as Warren Buffett says, you want to work with people who love their craft, who live and breathe the business. And it's not just someone who wants to make more money. They need to be a person that will go above and beyond for your business so then you can delegate to the point of abdication. The next one is you need to understand their personal drive. Oftentimes you can understand this from the way that they started, what they're doing. If, for example, they were passionate about this when they were kids or early on, and you'll understand a little bit better what is their drive. Next, you need to understand how good of an understanding they have of their role. How do you contribute to the company's success and what type of culture are you looking for in the company that you're going to work in? When it comes to the culture, usually this should reflect and project their personal values. Unless you get some cookie cutter answers, then that also tells you that this person wants to be on the safe side of things. So that is also telling. Now let's get to the next point. Point number 4. Get them to complete and share results of personality tests. There are some paid and free personality tests. You need to get them to complete one so then you understand if they are introvert or extrovert. Where do they thrive in, and are they assertive or not? So you can go and do a research to see if this person is a fit for a role. For example, if you're looking for an operator or systems designer or an architecture design, then you need to look for someone who is an architect, and their personality test reflects that. If you want to work with someone who is an extrovert, then you need to have that being reflected on the personality test. There are a lot of personality tests out there, some free, some paid. Maybe they have completed already one, but just get them to share the results with you so then you make a better decision and you don't waste your time onboarding someone who is not going to be a personality fit. And you always need to remember, usually people get hired for a combination of personality and skills, but most of the time they get fired due to personality issues. So make sure that you make the best decision from a personality perspective as well. And then lastly, get them to complete an interview assignment. So the same way that you're going to ask them like, hey, what is the difference between micromanagement and accountability? You need to give them scenarios that you want them to answer with a Loom video or with a doc and their findings. Now pay attention to this. There's also ChatGPT, and people could just get this on ChatGPT and give you answers based on that. But your questions need to be specific. So if they do answer with ChatGPT, that is not a problem, as long as they can respond and complete the assignment until the end. So the way that you can create an interview assignment is by reflecting on a task that you would have wanted this person to complete without you being involved. So for example, for myself, I needed someone to come in and design a system for my clients. And what I did is I created an interview assignment where I asked candidates like, hey, can you please design this specific system with these specific features for X client? And of course it was like a simulation. So they got it done, and then I saw to what extent they got it done. They did use ChatGPT. But also, did they complete the assignment on time? Was the assignment including all the details? Did they follow the process that I would have followed? This allowed me to understand if this person is a fit or not for the role. And once you take these 5 things into consideration when you're hiring, you're going to make much better decisions to hire people that are qualified to actually help you. Because it's not a matter of like wasting only money, it's also about wasting time. Wasting time trying to train up the wrong person who is just not the right fit. So make sure that you're not rushing through your hiring. Go through the reps. Go through the process of like doing the interview assignment, and don't try to cut corners, because it's going to bite you back in the future and you're going to waste a lot of time with the wrong person. Thank you for watching. If you have questions, put them in the comment section below. And if you want to jump on a call with me and my team to see how we could help you scale with systems and automations to multiple 6 and 7 figures per month, just like we've done with other businesses, then check the link in the description and I'll see you on the next one.